Meeting of the Amherst Township Trustees called to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Euring?
Yes.
And Kish is present. We have a quorum. And I have the meeting minutes from September 9th of the regular meeting of the Amherst Township Trustees. The meeting was called to order at 7 o'clock by Lynch with pledge to the flag. Roll call, Abraham, Lynch, Euring, and Kish were present. Also in attendance, L. Ashley, Case Marsh, G. Lynch, R. Valentin, and R. Ramsey. 9/125, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Euring, to approve the regular meeting minutes of August 26, 2025 as read. Roll call, Lynch and Euring, ayes. Abraham abstained. 9/2/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Euring. Move to approve the financial reports and payment of items on the payment listing as presented. Lynch and Euring were ayes. Abraham abstained. Fiscal officer reported she has reached out to county courts with the state auditor's office since no one is responding to her inquiries about finishing our 22-23 audit. Welcome and audience concerns. R. Ramsey, a candidate for Oberlin Municipal Judge, wanted to introduce himself, tell a bit about himself, and ask for support. Under correspondence, Sandstone Parkway opened to through traffic from Oberlin Road to State Route 58 on 8/26/25. Four Seasons Phase 4, 5, 6, and 7 preliminary plan approved by Lorain County Planning Commission on 8/28. Sandstone Mill Phases 3 and 4 preliminary plan approved by Lorain County Planning Commission on 8/28. Otarma Property Appraisal Report dated 7/18/25 was received on 9/4/25. 2026 local government allocation and percentages, $83,761.53 to Amherst Township, or 0.647% of $12,896,965. Is that right?
Yeah, 12 minutes.
And that was on 9/4, and then on 9/3/25 at 11 a.m. on the fourth floor, Room B, Budget Commission 2026 official certificate and rates. Under reports for zoning, Zoning Inspector Valentin noted that we have had 3 permits so far for September. 1 was for new construction, and year to date we have 119 permits, with 57 being new construction. Under roads, park, and cemeteries, Road Superintendent Case Marsh, everything is running smooth, getting ready to start on catch basin repair. Called again on the new plow truck and was unable to obtain a reply. Sandstone Excavating has begun the Rustic Hill Concrete Replacement Project. Trustee Lynch noted that the OPWC grant application has been submitted for the Deepwood Lane Concrete Replacement Project. Lynch also discussed a maintenance agreement regarding Oberlin Road and Sandstone Parkway. Transferring responsibility of approximately 3 miles of Oberlin Road from Amherst Township to Lorain County will save the township approximately $27,000 annually in resurfacing costs. Additionally, the township will save the cost of plowing, salting, pothole repair, crack sealing, striping, berming, mowing, sign replacement, guardrail replacement, stormwater drainage maintenance, etc. The county engineer agreed to transfer responsibility of the 3 miles of Oberlin Road upon the 1.27-mile Sandstone Parkway County Connector Road from Oberlin Road to State Route 58 being completed, and the township agreeing to a winter maintenance and debris removal agreement for Sandstone Parkway. Through the discussions, the following resolution was presented. 9/3/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move for authorization of a maintenance agreement for Sandstone Parkway pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5535.08A. Roll call, Lynch and Abraham, ayes. Euring was a nay. Township Administrator, Senior Services, Administrator Ashley reported Medicare open enrollment is opening soon. Working on addresses for Sandstone development. Our new copier is being delivered in the next few weeks. Also, tools for Kevin have been ordered. Copier and road department battery operated tools with Energy Star rating are eligible for NOPEC grant reimbursement. A new computer has been ordered for Kevin and 2 laptops for the admin offices, as the current computers cannot utilize Windows 11. Submitted the OPWC Round 40 grant applications to the Lorain County engineer. The OPWC grants will be entered into WorksWise upon completion of review by engineer. We'll also be getting the stormwater mini grant applications together for submittal in January of 2026 to leverage OPWC 40 grant applications with local share. Under complaints, they're being handled by the designated individual. The road superintendent Smarsh noted the log jams inhibiting drainage in the Pinehurst development have been removed. Zoning Inspector Valentin will provide the Lorraine County Dog Warden contact information to the resident with the pit bull at-large complaint. Under new business, the next regularly scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Township Hall. Trustee Lynch has been working with the prosecutor's office regarding a potential annexation in the vicinity of Fowle and Albrecht roads. Meeting with the Elyria Law Director must be scheduled. Nothing to report now. Under 9-4-25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Uhrig, moved to adjourn at 7:58 p.m. All ayes.
Are there any changes or corrections to the September 9th meeting minutes?
I have none.
Okay, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Uhrig?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
That is 9-5. Then you have the financial reports in front of you. You have the payment listing, which I'll explain a little bit about all of that Bureau of Workers' Compensation things at the top. We made our payment in January, and then there have been adjustments since then. So like the last $30, we got a rebate. So I have to adjust the original payment versus just entering it as a receipt. Then Crossroads Asphalt, that was my fault. I wrote a purchase order for $3,000 and a payment for $3,000, and it was only supposed to be $226. So that's why those two voids are there. Otherwise, everything is pretty much boilerplate. David, you have both August and September healthcare reimbursements in there. So those are the bills
Thank
for
you.
that month. We have our year-to-date revenue is $1,645,769.79. And our expenditures are $868,691.52. Those are the financials.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to approve the, are there any questions on the financial reports? I'm going to make a motion to approve the financial reports and the payment of those items on the payment listing as specified in the document provided by the fiscal officer.
Second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Uhrig?
Yes.
And then you also have in front of you the credit card statement. Everything is in order with
Yeah.
receipts and such.
We got receipts on everything, and I assume the one was just the reimbursement then, at minus 238.
Yes, that was a purchase that was made and we found it less expensive somewhere else.
Okay. Nice one, they'll take it back, huh? Any questions on the credit card statement? And I'm going to make a motion that the credit card account transaction detail has been reviewed per policy, and the card statement is accepted as presented, subject to investigation.
I will second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Uhrig?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
What's the number on that, Chris?
That is 9725. And the only other thing that I have is at the last meeting I reported that I had reached out to Kiney and just as the meeting ended at the state auditor's office, and as the meeting ended, I had heard back from her that she is reviewing all of our things and she's probably going to finish the audit herself, but I've not heard from her since.
I think you sent an email on that too.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm just going to put still waiting.
Still waiting. May as well just continue into the next one.
Is there anything else, Chris?
That is all I have.
All right, thank you. This time I'd like to welcome everyone in attendance. If you have anything to bring before the trustees, please raise your hand. Okay, and we got all three groups. So Donna, you were here first, so if you can introduce yourself, where you live up here at the podium, and what brings you to the township.
Hi, I'm Donna Straley, 7575 Pile
And
South.
Donna, hey Georgianne, can you bring up the auditor's website while she's talking? All right, go ahead, sorry.
No, you're fine, I get it. 7575 Pile South Amherst Road. We're seeking a variance for a lot split. We've gone through everything with Lorraine County Community Development. Spoke to Kristen Brandon, she's aware, had the property surveyed, split, ready to do 2 deeds. And as a matter of fact, we brought a packet up on the 10th for the paperwork to file with the township, and we were told we didn't need it, so we're a little confused where we need to go from here in order to get this done. So with Pile South Amherst, our property butts up to Coventry Place, which is Amherst city limits. So the piece, and I have the plat.
It's on the screen up here too now.
Oh, thank you. So you can see where the split is off of there. So the driveway for the new resident would actually be in Amherst city limits because that's a city street. Originally, when we went to go forward with the split, we wanted to keep it in the township, but we were told no because the address is going to come off of Coventry.
And Donna, is the pointer up here for her, Georgianne? You'll be able to point where it is and where the split is on here, Donna.
The pointer.
Camera real quick.
Or you can do it. So the split is going to come from this pin 125 feet in because building requirements for the city of Amherst. So I actually think it's 120, but we went a couple extra. And then it's going to come, obviously, all the way to this corner, and then it comes here. So it's leaving us a little over an acre with our lot, and then it ends up being 0.687 for the new lot here. So, and I mean, we know there's water and sewer and all that we'd have to cross the road and tap into, and just need to get across the finish line, please.
And just so, because as I explained to you before the meeting, to my knowledge, fellow trustees are not aware of this yet. They might be, and I'm not aware of it, but I don't believe they are. And I didn't know you were coming to this evening, and we were planning on having an executive session to explain it to them, but since you're here, it's easier for them to just see it. And our township administrator did provide some documents that we were going to review in executive session that she just received this evening from your attorneys on this. So haven't even read it yet, so I
That's
can't
fine.
tell you what it says here. But just so that the trustees are aware, because I don't see any need for this to go into executive session at this point. What Donna wants to do, and her husband Jim, is split the lot so that somebody else can build a home there. Is that
Yes.
correct? And as you're aware, they're going to require, water, sewer, electric, gas, all the utilities and the broadband. Well, this is in the City of Amherst facility planning area. And we all know those are set by the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency. Whether you agree with the way that works, it essentially the only one that can provide service of that is the City of Amherst. And the City of Amherst, in this case, won't provide those services unless they can annex it. Typically, the township is opposed to annexations because obviously you have the loss of revenue, you have the loss in zoning control, stormwater, and then it impacts your other township residents. But since I've had the opportunity to see this and review it ahead of time, since there's been questions coming from our township administrator and through the zoning inspector, I personally don't see a problem with it. One, you have no other choice to get those services. And I don't see where it opens or exposes any more the township to an annexation threat. So it'll help you guys, obviously, financially. You'll benefit from it. So with that, I guess I'll just open it up to questions. I don't know how the other trustees feel about this.
You have access to sewers in the front of your property, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. And water also,
Yes.
correct?
Yep. We've been tapped into the sewers off a pile for several years. Actually, when Copper Creek went in.
Right.
We tapped in then.
So it's servicing your lot, and it's already servicing the lot. So if technically, if you couldn't get sewers off Coventry,
Yes.
your lot is being serviced, you should be able to bring it in from Pile South Amherst, technically.
I
I
actually
would
think,
I mean, the parcel's serviced, I would say already.
yes.
Whether it's one parcel or whether you make it 10, it's still serviced. I don't think they can say they can't service it because they already are.
And when Coventry went in, the developer, he actually approached us about buying our property, and he wanted to split that into 3 lots. And, I mean, we enjoy living in Amherst Township, and, you know, that's where we're going to stay. So we tried everything possible to keep this split in the township until it got to the point that, no, because it's coming off of Coventry. We actually had a buyer for it that was very interested because they were looking forward to living in the township as well. So, but,
Yeah, and essentially, just to review the history, David, if you recall, the sewers that go down Pile South Amherst,
That was part of the Copper Creek.
it
Yes.
was, but back up before that, it was also where we were fortunate we were successful in staving off an annexation. But as a result of that, to service that particular new development, it's a Bob Parrott development at Copper Creek, it required the sewers to come down Pile South Amherst, which forced the township residents to connect. And we were able to get between TIF revenues and grant funds to try and keep that cost down as low as possible, because that's always a very costly endeavor for people, and it wasn't our residents requesting that. It was necessary for the service to Copper Creek. And at that time, the FPA, I believe, was even in the city of Lorraine. And because we have a joint economic development district with the city of Lorraine, that also would help and stave off that previous annexation. But it required, to get service, was to go through the process in the WACA to change the facility planning area. And because of our JED with Lorraine, we all agreed to go ahead and let that happen. And then it required Bob Parrott to put the sewers deeper than necessary to service Copper Creek, which is being pointed out now, with the expectation, and the county had this requirement, that the property south of that would eventually need sewers also. So this would just avoid a lift station necessity. So what Don and Jim are asking for is they would prefer that this lot split stay in the township, but they found that there's no way sewer service will be provided now that it's in the city of Amherst FPA without it being annexed. And the recommendation to them, there is what's referred to as the Type 2 annexation. The Type 2 annexation, if all the property owners agree, in this case it's one property owner, it's as long as they meet all of the criteria in the ORC, is the township can't stop it. And at this point, I don't see where they have a problem, and I don't see where we should hold it up in doing it. And that's something we can discuss in executive session. But just so, since I wasn't aware Don and Jim were coming tonight, but since they're here, it's probably best to discuss it all in the open so everybody understands it as to what's going on here. So they will be left with a little over an acre parcel. Your frontage, was it less than 125 feet? I don't recall.
on our property,
Yeah, on Pile South Amherst.
98.73.
What is it?
98.73.
Okay. So it's an existing, what we would call a non-conforming lot, but, you know, it's still making it a 1 acre lot. And, you know, we could go ahead and fight this, but I don't see a need to fight it. All we're doing is hurting an existing resident or something that I don't think causes us any problems. You know, if you look at all the property that's around their parcel, it doesn't in any way allow a marching across for further annexation. And At Georgia, yeah, if you come out further and go up to the north, there's already, go where Copper Creek is, there's already portions of Amherst touching other open property. So the property just north of Copper Creek, you know, that's already a potential annexation target. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen, but my point is what, and is it pronounced Streel?
Straley.
Straley?
You're
Okay.
close.
So the Straleys, what they're asking for is not in any way putting any other township property at risk. So it's, you know, the way I look at it, I don't see any reason to object to it. So, and with a type 2 annexation, that means there's no annexation agreement required between the municipality and the township. A type 1 could also be what they call expedited, but it requires an agreement. Now, one thing I would say, Don, is that if the trustees agree with this, we should have something in writing from Amherst that they will provide the services, not that all of a sudden you get the lot split, we agree to the annexation, but now you still don't get the service. And I don't see a reason that they'd hold anything up. It'd be a benefit to them too. I don't know, do you have any other?
No, I do not.
Okay, and so probably, Donna, in dealing with the township, you know, your best contact is probably Ryan, you know, and you've met the township administrator, Linda. She usually just comes to the first meeting of the month, but in dealing with either one of them, we'll discuss it here. I think the real thing is going to be your legal counsel just starting the process. You'll hear from us as far as if there's any real objection, which I don't expect. I did hear, I got it secondhand from, I don't know, Ryan, if it was you or Linda, I think it was Linda, saying that the mayor of the city of Amherst wanted something in writing from the trustees, but it's like, well, you know, we didn't have anything in writing.
That's okay.
So it's like, you know, and again, I haven't read this from your attorney, so we'll discuss that in executive session and see what it is, if he's asking for something in writing or what he's asking for us to provide. And get our process started, but I think his situation is starting the type 2 annexation process and taking that through the Lorraine County Board of County Commissioners. Okay?
Sure enough. And then I'll work on getting the letter from the city of Amherst this week for services.
Oh, that'd be
And then-
wonderful if you got that. If you could send a copy over, send it to Ryan's attention.
Okay.
Okay?
I can take care of that. Thank you
All
very
right.
much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks for coming and explaining everything in person. Okay, I think the couple here was next. Yeah, if you just come up and you'll have to use the microphone, especially if you step away from the podium so it's captured on the video.
Be allowed to approach?
Yeah.
This is the original complaint that we submitted and then the rest of the information. I just-
Thank you.
My name is Renee Harbin, and this is Rich Blevins, and we are the property owners of 9162 Oberlin Road in Amherst Township. We purchased our property in 2021, and when we did, we built a pole barn, and we were informed that in order to keep the pole barn up, we had to sign a promissory note stating that we would have a house built within a year, otherwise we had to take the pole barn down. We fulfilled that obligation. We have our home and the pole barn. We are seriously not here to cause our neighbors any problems, but we shouldn't have to deal with problems caused by them. Our neighbor at 9164 Oberlin Road, Amherst Township, James Nepper, built a pole barn 3 years ago and has not yet built a house. This appears to be a violation of the township's regulations. The runoff from his property is pitched to the north and not to the ditch, and this is causing major flooding on our property. We previously sent a formal complaint, which I just handed to you, and we were told by Ryan Valentine that our neighbor complies with what is required. He recommended to reach out to the Lorraine County Soil and Water to discuss the water runoff. We contacted the Lorraine County Soil and Water and spoke to Donald Ramenkak, and he informed us that there is nothing they can do until our neighbor's property has 10,000 square feet of surface runoff. So Rich reached out to Remy to clarify that a pole barn cannot be built unless a promissory note stating a house would be built within a year or the pole barn needs to be removed. Remy not only verified that this is a regulation of the Amherst Township, but also stated it is illegal unless a legal promissory note is signed. Rich also spoke to David Urich, who told us he would do more investigation on the matter. Additionally, the water runoff from the neighboring property is causing a significant problem, directing water onto our land and flooding our utilities. Building a house would require our neighbor to redirect his water to the ditch where it should have been in the first place, and this would resolve any water issues. We are requesting that you address this issue to ensure that Amherst Township rules and regulations are applied fairly and consistently to all residents. Thank you for your time.
We can answer any questions if need will. We don't have the answers, we'll reply next meeting. Can you bring up the 9162 Oberlin Road? Okay. So I'd like to explain the runoff.
Rich, can you point out the two homes, and you might have to take the microphone with you if you're going to speak.
Okay. Okay, so this is our property here. Oh, okay. So this is our lot 9162 Oberlin Road, but it consists of 17 acres. This is Jim Nicholson's property, or
Jim
Nepper, I'm sorry. And so you'll see a ditch that runs to the south. Oh, right here it is. And then comes across our property to here. Now he has all his water pitched not only to the east, but to the north. So, like from here forward is all pitched to us, 9162. It goes across his driveway, right in this area, right here, perfect. All this water goes across the driveway and then runs down here. This is where our utilities run, all the way to this pole right here. Now, we had internet issues. I spoke to Renee and I said I'd go out and check out the connections from the pole to our connection that goes to the house. It was totally underwater. Our transformer is placed right in this location here. The internet location is located in this area here, and this was all totally flooded. We had no prior flooding or water issues prior to this,
The pole barn being built.
the pole bar being built and the water set going this way. Now, I didn't know where the water was coming from. I didn't know if I did something wrong or what was happening, but I contacted a surveyor and as well as a 30-year veteran of heavy, well, actually, he's a, he sets up job sites and as well as excavating himself, so he knows grade. He simply walked down this aisle right here and walked around this way and come back and said, all of this area right here is coming right towards you. He's flooding you on purpose. I mean, there's no other way to say it. And you would think that you would scratch your head and say, why would he do that? It's got to go across his driveway, which is normally flooded out. Then it comes across us and is flooding out our utilities. Now, so the pole barn's here is right on the line, and he's got his downspouts pointing this way as well. I'm not really concerned about that. That's not really a lot of water. I mean, it is a lot of water. It adds to it, but it should be directed either to the ditch or to the west. So, I mean, that's, you could see the grade. It's falling this way. This ditch was probably built, probably 100 years ago. I mean, a long time ago. So for him to, originally it all fell this way. We had no problem. In fact, when we bought our house, so we were all wooded, we set up camp.
Pretty much all the way down the...
Yeah, so, yeah, in this area, because it was the driest area. Now it's, you gotta put on your weight. Well, I dug a ditch from here to here and came across, oh, right here it is, right here. You can see my ditch. to get rid of that water. Now, from my property, so now the pole barn's up to grade. The pole barn is approximately 3.5, well, we'll call it 3, higher than our yard. This area right here is minus 2.5 feet. The driveway is below grade. That's where he's pitching his water to. Now, I'm not saying legally, but if I could bring my property up to grade at 3.5 feet or 3 feet, consistent with the white line on the road here, and he would be totally, this would all be flooded out because of the way he pitched. I know it doesn't make sense, but
Kind of counterintuitive.
I'm sorry.
Counterintuitive.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would like to think that he didn't purposely pitch all his water and try to flood us out, but unfortunately, we have no other reason to think otherwise. Purposely. But we have no other reason to think otherwise. Because it is
Obvious.
I mean, it's very obvious. Now, Don, I did talk to Don, because I say watershed. Well, what did you say?
The surface runoff.
Surface runoff. So this does not equal 10,000 feet of water.
Square feet of the surface.
Surface water runoff. So he's saying he can't do anything because there's not a house built. Once there's a house built, then it might equal up to 10,000 and he might be able to do something. But at this point, he's been out of compliance for 3 years and he's pitched all the water intentionally, unfortunately, to the north, which is flooding out all this area right here.
So now, we're suggesting, and from the,
Yeah, Renee, if you get close to the microphone.
oh, I'm sorry. We don't know if this is the direction we need to go in, okay? So we're going on what Don from the Lorraine County Soil and Water.
He'll actually
has-
be the Lorraine County Stormwater District Director.
Correct.
There's a different entity that is soil and.
There's two
Lorraine
different
Soil and
ones?
Water.
I'm
Yes.
Yes.
Lorraine Soil and Water
Then
is
I
down
must-
on.
Don,
You
Don
talk with Don.
Roman check.
Roman
Yes,
check.
correct.
That's who we spoke to.
Yeah, he's with the Lorraine County Stormwater District. He's the
Okay.
director of that.
All right, I must have wrote that down wrong then.
That's okay.
I put soil and water.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's a separate entity. That's,
Okay. Well, it's Don who we
down on
spoke
Russia
to.
Road. Okay.
So we just need to, we're having a hard time, since we built, and we built way back in, like 500 feet from the road. And I don't think that made too many of the neighbors that have been there. I don't think that they were all that happy about it due to the fact that
Yeah, thank you.
their illusion of what property they had in the woods that they had, I think we kind of screwed that up. So we feel at this point with all this, the water direction and everything, that we're being targeted. And we may be totally offline, but we're not getting a very positive response from anybody around there.
And we've been helping out the neighbor to the north. I built another ditch. No, I don't. Yeah, but I built another ditch so their water. So they're plus. I mean, they're higher than we are. Okay. And our driveway is up to grade, so we are actually pitching our water towards them. So I made a ditch. I don't see the road ditch, but I built a ditch all the way down, all the way to the ditch that is shown. So a little bit, so right here. So this is another ditch that I put in. So we're not dumping on them, they're not dumping on us. We had talked to them. They said that their water is flowing to the west. Our water is flowing to the west. So we had a conversation with them and clarified it and made corrections that we needed to make. So we weren't dumping on them and they were dumping on us to the north. To the south is a totally different story altogether.
So basically, what do we do?
We can,
Well,
Ryan, you want to explain what investigation you've done so far on this?
So as far as the pole barn on the property that was permitted, the reason you guys had to sign the promissory note is because you were living in that particular building, the garage or whatever it was over there. Well, that's what the paperwork I have says. You guys were living in there. So by doing that, within 18 months, you have to build a home. I know he's not living in there. So he's in zoning compliance And then, like you said, as far as the water, there's not much we can do. You'd have to file a civil suit or continue to do that through,
Okay.
Or get our property up to grade?
Yeah. We can bring ours up to grade and all this will be totally flooded. Is that what you're suggesting?
And you're trying to reach Mr. Knepper to see if he still plans on putting a home there, correct?
correct.
Okay.
But he doesn't have to if he doesn't want
I've
to.
also reached out to Barb Tamus, that's the Lorraine County prosecutor, to get further guidance. So this is an ongoing investigation, but as of right now, it's in zoning compliance.
So I can buy a lot in Amherst Township and build a pole barn, build a driveway, excavate my property however I feel, and
Pitch the water into
well, first of all, he didn't even have a driveway permit, so I already know how he got back here. He didn't pay for the tap-in.
Yeah, Rich,
So-
so we don't get too far off here, is there are certain regulations, and we're not going to go into hypotheticals on this.
Okay.
But the reality is, each property owner, you can't be doing something that is in any way negatively impacting your neighbor. But if you do, in this particular case, it becomes a civil matter between the property owners. That's not something the township can get involved in. What Ryan is going to do, though, is check with that property owner to see if he intends on putting a home there, which will require permits and citing. And as you're aware, Don Romankek's indicated to you at that point, the county stormwater district might have some influence on it as to what happens. But until that does happen, there's nothing as far as a governmental agency that can do anything there. You know, it's not impacting our roads here. So it's up to you if you want to take civil action. But as far as a tit for tat, you know, neighbors, hey, I'll go ahead and build up and put it to you. You're just setting yourself up because then
Yeah,
they
I
can file
understand.
civil
And we understand
litigation.
that. That is not the type of people that we are. We don't want to, we
I'm
don't want
not
this to be
suggesting
an
that,
issue at
it's
all.
just that hypothetical was being brought up and I'm trying to explain.
Right.
You now understand
and then
why.
hypothetical about
So, yeah, but you understand how
buying
the public
property and building a pole barn and
Yeah, Rich,
putting trash around
Rich.
it and then just call it
Let's
quits.
cut it to the chase. I'm trying to explain the issue you're bringing up, those particular items, you're asking, what do you do next?
Right.
Those are civil matters between the property owner. So it's between you guys if you want to engage legal counsel to do anything about that.
Yeah.
But until that time, Ryan's trying to reach the other property owner to see what their intents are in terms of putting up a home. And as he's explained, your situation was a little different because when you brought it to the township, you indicated you were going to build what's going to became an accessory building, but you were temporarily going to live out of that, which meant it became a housing unit. So that's why you ended up getting the promissory note that you're not building this, which isn't going to be a housing unit, to be a permanent housing unit, or a second home, so you had two residential units on one lot, that your intent was you're temporarily living in that till you get your home built. And so that's my understanding of why your situation was different than this individual that put up a barn, okay? So Ryan's still gonna do that investigation. You're welcome, just stay in contact with Ryan. But all the other things, if it's on the water runoff thing, and Don Romankek's already explained that to you, you know, at this point, you've got to decide, do you wait and see what happens, or do you decide to, you know, pursue legal action?
Right.
Okay, so that's your decision.
But it's good that you came before us. We try to understand the situation, have some kind of understanding, and to see if there is something that we could help with, if there was something like a ditch cleaning, or maybe a roadside ditch to be cleaned, you know, something like that we could try to help with or try to intercede on your behalf. But it doesn't appear that's the problem. It appears the problem is a neighbor changing the grade. And then when they start backing up the water, when they start impeding the natural flow of water, then they could be liable. You know, that's riparian rights.
Right.
The water's got to go where water goes. Okay, got a ditch, where it comes into your property and where it leaves your property, you can't change, but you can do anything within your property on it. But you can't change where it comes in, where it goes. You can't dump water on your neighbor, and you can't, impede water. You can't decide this is a nice place for a dam, and I'll build a dam across my ditch and flood 10 properties. You can't do that. But
Is that what Mr. Lynch is trying to say?
I
That
think,
it's allowed to happen?
what do you mean by allowed? You can't.
You're allowed to pitch the water wherever.
No.
No,
I did
no,
not
no,
say
no.
that.
I didn't say that. We said you can't impede the flow of water.
Correct.
And dumping it on another property is, changing the course of the water. Or
Correct.
trying to make the water go north when it actually should go south. That's not.
Okay, and so
That's not. But
that's legal
when-
or it's civil?
That's civil. There's no enforcement mechanism.
All right.
Well, there's no ditch police that go
Right,
around
yeah,
and
right.
like that. It's a civil matter. If a neighbor backs up water on another neighbor, then that neighbor
Civil.
has to
Civil.
go to civil. That's
Okay,
That's interesting.
very interesting.
But stay in touch with Ryan, he'll let you know
Okay.
what things are going forward.
And you're Ryan?
Yes.
Ryan.
But thanks for bringing in the written summary too, Renee, that's helpful.
Oh, yes, and we're here. We're here second and fourth Tuesdays. So don't be strangers. Okay.
All right, and Dave, you want to come up and still restate your name and what your issue is? And Georgiana, I keep
That's
hearing
more.
feedback.
My name's David Moore. I live at 45273 Middle Ridge Road. I'm here because of the Batten House Ditch Project. I talked to Don a month ago. He actually come out, took a bunch of pictures with his girls, and he told me that he would send me paperwork on the easement. Okay, well, it's been a month. He hasn't sent me any paperwork yet.
Paperwork for you to sign an easement?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the other guy, I forget his name.
Engineer?
No, the property owner next to me.
The Bourne property?
No, the next guy.
Estrude
over.
property?
Yeah.
Okay.
He told me that he was gonna backbill them for charges of cleaning that ditch out. Well, evidently he hasn't done anything about it. You guys haven't done anything about it. I spent $1,000 last week in cleaning out stumps out of the creek.
Those were
spent
those
it-
ones
I-
that floated down, David?
I spent $1,000.
I'm-
All right,
Did
that's,
those were stumps that floated down, or they were stumps from dead trees?
No, they were stumps from dead trees.
Okay.
We cleared one up across the creek that ran all the way across the creek, and we cleared off one next to the river on my side of the property. But yeah, I spent $1,000. I don't know if you guys want to reimburse me for that, but it's just, you guys say that you're going to do this, and I appreciate you sending the email to Don, because I emailed him earlier than you did, and then he came out and looked at it at the end of the month, and then you asked about if somebody had been out there, so I appreciate you looking after that part of the project, but we've got grant money already for that project, and we're going to lose it. And I'm afraid that if we lose it, then it'll never get done. So I'm tired of my property flooding a little bit now. We used to have 4 feet of water in the back of my property until we built it up. So but
Well, David, because it's just coincidence, I saw you come in, so I pulled up my email. You did not get this email. I realize there's always conversation going on, and it is frustrating that it's taking so long, but you're aware it's just trying to get the easement signed by the other property owners where they have to take equipment across to do this.
yeah, well, you have mine,
Yeah, well,
you have the electric companies.
let me give you, this was last Friday, I sent this to Don Romankak, and I could certainly forward this to you, and I did get a response. The response didn't come in until today because Don has been out of the office. But this is on 2 different drainage projects, and we do have, the grant funds have been approved. By the
Right.
Board of Commissioners, and also, first the Stormwater Advisory Council recommended approval, the County Commissioners approved it, but it's just been the delay in getting all the property owners to agree, and some of them because there's one that's out of state, which has really caused some difficulty. And our concern is that I brought up to the Stormwater District and also discussed with the County Commissioners, hey, when this was approved and the estimates put together, this is several years ago, costs have gone up, and the township has to contribute a portion because our thing is taking care of the flooding that's over here on Overland and Stang, because you're aware your water backs up all the way. And I said, are we going to get additional grant funds? Because you can't, we've got now, there's 3 grant projects the township's been approved for that are just sitting.
Right.
All of them waiting for approvals from property owners. Well, as costs go up, we can't fill that whole thing in, so we're hoping that the county commissioners, we'll do our proportion, but that they'll also proportionally increase the grant funds available. But specifically to Don on the Batten House ditch, I put, this project goes from what we refer to as a Mom and Dad Harper Properties, that's their official name, which is, right by, starting at Oberlin Road, but it's a little bit to the west of Oberlin Road. Is I summarize first our discussion of the week before. So a week before last Friday, Don, you believe you can clear the log jams and remove dead, diseased, and problem trees and brush without requiring easements from the board management property, and I give the address. 2, you will contact Pete Zawick in the Lorraine County Engineer's Office to identify trees requiring removal. 3, obtaining an easement for the Doylick Nature Preserve property, and I give the parcel number because there's no address, has proved difficult. The owners have not objected to the easement, but it has been difficult to obtain signatures due to the owners not living in the area. 4, you have easements from all the other property owners required to gain access to the Batten House ditch. Now, I didn't realize you didn't have yours because I was led to believe that they had them all except the one. 5, it might be possible to clear the obstructions and debris from the Batten House ditch from the Lakeshore Railway near Oberlin Road, the Mom and Dad Harper properties, to the east branch of Beaver Creek, that portion is owned by the Amherst Township Board of Trustees without an easement from the Doylick Nature Preserve property. So that was my thing, and it's like, let me know the status of these 2 projects, because I was asking on the second one, and if there is anything I can do to move these projects along and to provide the affected residents with the help they requested. Well, I got an out-of-office response from Don's email, and he responded today, just at 12:04. Since we last, let's see, that's mine, this comes up funny on your phone. It's, let me get Don's message. Dear Neil, since we last spoke, I've been out of town, playing catch up. I will check with Andy. I think he's with Soil and Water. Peter, that's Peter Zawick, County Engineer's Office, and you've met Pete.
Yeah.
Brought him out to your property. Is revising the easements on the Batten House to get a better access to the ditch. Unfortunately, he is serving jury duty this week. So that's my response. It's unfortunate. We've had, it's taken way too long, but we're at an impasse of moving this along, but I can certainly forward these to you. but that's the action behind the scenes going on. So my understanding was that Don was going to move forward even though he didn't have the one easement. So I thought you already signed one, but maybe you haven't, or maybe
Well,
you took it for granted you would.
Yeah, he asked me to send him an email as to when I got it. And I never got the easement paperwork.
Okay.
So
Well, if you
I
know
never.
you're gonna take care of it, 'cause
Yeah,
you're
I never
getting
got
flooded.
anything from his office.
Okay, well, we want it done because it's gonna help you, but it's gonna help us when we get those heavy rains too. You know, we've
Right.
had a lot of work done on these ditches and it's cost a lot of money.
Right.
You know, we gotta get them on that maintenance where they can come in periodically to clear things out, because you know the way it is, you've seen it. We get a big storm, you're gonna have all sorts of stuff float down there and get stuck.
Yeah, I've got probably 20, 25 dead trees on the property now, on Eskridge property. I've cut everything else.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things he
So-
indicated Pete was gonna look at, but I don't know the other adjustment, but that's just today. So again, my communication with him was over, I had one 2 weeks ago, at least 2 weeks ago, then a follow-up last week, and then Don responded this week. So it's, again, if you want this, I can send it to you, but it's going to be exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
Okay, but I just say, Dave, stay in touch and keep pushing on it, because we want it done too.
Well, I want it done more than you guys do, so.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I've been at this for 2 years now.
Yeah. Well,
And we haven't, the only logs we removed are the logs that I removed and
yeah.
did away with.
Well, I would suggest you put in summary and give a copy of the receipt. You can, you know, send it to Don. You can certainly copy me. You've got my email. You know, who knows what he'll do. He might even consider that part of the contribution, but
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't
we-
hold your breath on it, but it's,
Yeah, they did some other property work for me as well, so.
okay. Well, that's the best I can offer right now. We're in this holding pattern. You know, it's, the county needs those easements so they can get access. There was one they felt they could do without the easement. You know, it's just not that the property owner's objecting, it's just that they're not here. You know,
Right.
I think you were aware they're supposed to supposedly come into Ohio and sign paperwork, you know, in the spring, and that didn't
Yeah.
happen. And in this day and age, I don't understand why they can't use electronic versions that are available that most law offices have access to sign it without physically being here. But again, I'm not privy to all those detailed interactions. Okay?
Okay.
But definitely send something to Don, let him know he's definitely back in the office because he responded to me today, but he was out last week.
Okay,
Okay?
all right.
And it's up, do you want these other emails? Because I'll do it when I get home.
Okay,
All right?
all right, thanks a lot.
Okay.
David, are the preponderance of those trees that are falling over, dead trees, are they ash trees? The preponderance of them?
Most of them are, yeah.
wonder
But I
about-
mean, they're
Yeah.
yay big around. I mean, I got pictures on my phone. I can
Yeah,
show
I
you.
just wondered if it was ash, some of that ash borer stuff. All right.
Yeah, I can show you pictures on my phone, so. But they're just, you know, we got on both sides of the property, on both sides of the creek. So, and the railroad owns part of it, or the electricity owns part of that. And then you watch those guys, they just fly over with that chainsaw, and they just cut it, and they just let it drop.
There's supposed to be a bottom guy
Where-
taking care of that.
Where it drops is where it drops. There's still limbs out behind the trestle, the concrete trestle, that are just laying there.
I want to,
So, but,
That project was okayed when Red was working here. That's how long ago that was at least got started.
Oh, over here?
No, no,
Oh, over here?
yeah.
Oh,
Behind yours.
okay.
That's when that all initially. So I say the price has gone up. I figured they were just banking the money, and I don't want to get too crazy here. But
Yeah, we had, when we first moved in over there, we had a bunch of underbrush. I didn't own the property at the time, but we had a bunch of underbrush that I completely cleared off in front of the creek, and then we set out boulders that we found in the yard back there while we were building up the property. So, but we built that property up 3 feet. You know, it was 80 to 90 truckloads of dirt that was brought in and just dumped on the property, so,
sure.
which is kind of nice. So, but, I mean, I got my property all built up right now. It's all grassed in and everything, so I'd like to keep it that way. I don't need a pond back there anymore.
Well, thanks, David. I'm looking up, it was back on June 17th of this year, we received notice. The only reason we received notice from First Energy is because it impacted our property also. And I'm not a speed reader on this little phone screen. But and they talked about the power saw that they'd be dangling from the helicopter. But I'm sure they said, let's see, branches that fall onto access roads, maintain yard areas, agricultural fields, or in streams during the aerial trimming operation will be cleaned up or moved to adjacent wooded areas by ground crews, and goes on and on. So I'll forward you that one also. Okay, if you don't get it, you got my number, call me and I'll get it to you, but I'll try and get this all done tonight. Fortunately, I was able to find it. And that was shared with the trustees at that time back in June when First Energy notified us. Realize we won't always get those notifications, but since we happen to own some property there, they did notify us. And they specifically said they're going to clean it up. So this hopefully, let's see if they were good enough to give us contact information. Yep. Whoever Brian Grady is, I don't know what ACRT Incorporated is, the forestry specialist. He's got an email on. Looks like no phone number, but you will have an email to send to them and say, hey, you cut these off, and it'll be clear if they've been cut from a hanging chainsaw and that nobody picked them up. And they should take care of that.
Yeah, they're usually back on the property twice a year.
Okay, well,
Once in the spring and then once in the summer.
you get this and you've got a number to call, the direct number for who in the heck's actually doing the cutting, and it includes a letter of what they agreed to do. So I'm hoping I can do that so we can move on here, and you'll at least have that one. And I'm going to have to do it at home. I got too many David Moores in this. There's actually 3 different David Moores. That must be a pretty common name. So I'll do that when I get home. Okay? All right, we'll move on to correspondence. Chris?
I have none.
David?
I have nothing to bring
Danny?
forward at this
I
time.
have nothing.
All right, the only item, and you have a copy here, is Lorraine County Sheriff Jack Hall is requesting your attendance at a lunch and learn on Wednesday, October 8th at 11:30, which will include a tour of the jail. You will be charged $1.87 to cover the cost of the lunch, and that can be cash or check made payable Lorraine County Treasurer. Your lunch will be the same lunch that the prisoners are eating on that day. So it's, maybe want to prepare to eat afterwards too, was my understanding. But, you know, I'd recommend you attend if you can. It gives the information there of who you need to contact at the sheriff's office to make reservations so they have enough food available for you. Okay, reports ambulance, so we still don't have a meeting scheduled. I haven't heard, the president of the board, City of Amherst Fire Chief Brandon Demakia still needs to get round up all the chickens and get an agreeable date, but we're hoping to get that meeting in November. Move on zoning, Ryan.
I have nothing to bring forward at this time.
Okay, roads, parks, and cemeteries, Superintendent Smart.
I have nothing to bring forward. Everything's running smooth in the township.
Okay, and just so you're aware, which I think you know, we can't enter the OPWC Round 40 and work-wise until October, and Bob Kleiber wanted to remind all the trustees at the Lorraine County Township Association, I won't mention the township, but they did get singled out, must have tried entering things on work-wise to begin with, and it caused all sorts of difficulties. But you know, wait until we get notified.
Have they said anything about starting Rustic Hill?
No, I talked to Chris last week, and he's trying to push a job. He's still trying to get there for this week yet. If not, at least get that catch basin done for this week.
All right, and as far as stormwater management, I don't think we need to talk a whole lot more about surface water and drainage. You know, there's quite a bit has already been discussed with some property owners that have some difficulties. I can tell you that the Stormwater Advisory Committee did not meet last Thursday, so they canceled their meeting. As far as the open complaint, I don't know, Ryan, this one on Fieldstone with a pit bull at large, did you get them I mean, they should know to call Lorraine County.
Yeah, I contacted them, let them know who to call,
Okay,
gave them the numbers.
so I can take that off.
Yes.
The other one there is just, again, waiting till ODOT clears the ditch. I know they committed that they would, but I haven't seen that happen yet. Okay, as far as unfinished business, that is assigned responsibilities. The trustees have anything to add to any of the items of their specific responsibility?
No,
I
sir.
have nothing. I have nothing. I believe, don't we have a consortium meeting coming up? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that one coming up in October?
There may be. If there is, it's on a Wednesday, but I don't have it readily available.
That's about the
But it
only
should be
item.
on your schedule.
That's
Okay.
about the only item. Okay, we have nothing else?
All right, is there any new business?
No.
All right, hopefully everybody signed the newsletter for September. That is complete and ready to go out. A lot of good information in there. You might want to see it too, Kevin, with the road summary. It does give a chart of all the outstanding loans and, you know, what the status is, what's been paid off, what's still to be paid, and when it will be paid off. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, October 14th. Is any need for a work session? I think we're good to go with round 40. And I know you'll be working with Linda to leverage that with the mini grant.
I
Oh, you-
won't be here on the
That's right.
14th.
Okay.
I won't be here. David, did you hear what I said? I won't be here
On
on the
October
14th.
14th.
On the 14th.
Which means you gotta be here to conduct business.
Okay, whatever the 14th is. That's our next meeting, isn't it?
Yes, the next meeting. Yeah, because the way
It's the next meeting.
this is an odd time of year where there's 3 weeks between meetings. So, you know, if there's a special required, I'll let you know.
Quarterly or so, I think this happens. It's our 13
Okay, everyone's
weeks.
left from the audience. Originally, I had down for an executive session to discuss things. I think that we can still do that, but all I'm going to present is what the attorney has provided us for the property owner. So I'm going to make a motion that we enter into executive session in regards to a lot split and annexation at 8:10 p.m.
Second,
Lynch,
Yes?
Yuri,
yes.
Abraham.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to return from executive session to the regular meeting at 8:30.
I'll second,
Lynch,
Yes?
Yuri,
yes.
Abraham.
Yes.
Okay, is there any other business?
No, sir.
We can have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second,
Abraham,
Yes.
Yuri, Abraham, Yuri,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Okay.